In this video, I want to show you how you can set up a debug switch so that you can just turn debug on or off as needed. And this is a global setting. Now notice here, the debug, when I click on this, now notice when I click on the debug mode icon, the debug shows up. If I go over to demos, I have debug here as well. So this will be turned on. If I turn it off here, it's going to be turned off here as well. Let me show you how this is done. To start with, what we use is a global class, just like we did with dark theme. So dark theme, as you see, when we turn that on and off, it comes and it's set and it's reset. Now I do the same thing with debug mode. Now notice this. Here's debug mode and here's dark theme. So I can turn off dark theme and debug mode stays on, and I can toggle back and forth between those. To begin with, I had to add this asterisk here. What this does is it says on root, if class contains dark theme. When I didn't have it there, I had it this way originally. What would happen is whenever I would turn on debug mode, dark theme would not work anymore. So that is one thing that I had to ensure, and I had to do it in every place where I had dark theme set. So if I reference root class dark theme, I have to go this way. So that's the first thing, and that is key to being able to turn on and off debug without turning on and off dark theme. The next thing I had to do is I had to set up a function that tests for is debug mode. Just like checking for dark theme, I have to check for debug. Now the reason I made this a function is because I wanted to be able to call it anywhere in the code without having to specifically say is debug mode in several locations. This eliminates the need to have that in any component that has a debug mode that can be set. The next thing I did is I set up a function is production. Originally, I had that in the header. So if we go up in roadblock header, I had it in here originally, and I took it out and I moved it over into here. The reason I did that is I wanted to have a check to see if this is production, because if we're in production, we don't want debug mode turned on. Now you may in some circumstances, but you're opening yourself up for hackers, and we don't want that. So by doing this, I've eliminated the possibility that somebody could hack it. Now let me show you the other place I put it in. So in the debug output card, I put a check here, so the output card cannot show if it is production. Let me demonstrate. So here, if we go in and we look at this and we set up debug mode, now we are running in development mode. Let me stop and restart in production mode. Let's go back to the code just so that you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to stop this, I'm going to kill that process, and I'm going to go and I'm going to start production. So when I start production, it's now going to pull in the environment for production. And this is the production, and it says it's true. So it's because it's pulling that in, it's not going to show the debug mode. Let's go back to the web. You'll notice it doesn't show here, but a hacker would go, well, I can go here and go in here and I can type in debug mode. Sorry, it doesn't work. And that's because the actual, so even though the code may show part of the code, it's not going to show the debug card. So because the debug card will not show now, this is preventing it from occurring. Let's reset back to development mode. Let's go to the code now and see how we can fix this gap problem. So in here, we need to add a gap. And let's do 10 pixels just to see what that does. Let's go back to the web. And it looks better. We don't have the overlay that we had before. So this is looking better as I'm illustrating it for the video here. Now let's look at the reactive entry form page. This is the code for it, and this is the container for the debug. Originally, on my previous videos, I had several of these in here, and I had the height, or the top and the right set. I got rid of that, and now I'm just using the container here. So if we go and we look at the container now, it just says absolute position, top 100 pixels and right 100 pixels. And so this basically emulates the same thing we had before. Let's go back to the web and look at it. So we had this like this before, except remember there were 4 of them across here. Now I'm only showing one, and I'm only showing it here. So this is something where I can turn on and off using just that little switch right there. And notice I put a normal mode or debug mode. I don't have that on the dark theme. So notice it works for all themes. And those are some of the things that I had to go through to figure out how to get this to work. I hope this video has helped you. Please like and subscribe, and we will continue to make more videos. Thank you.